For the Summerland kids, it is Wednesday, July 3rd. It's the hot summer situation right now. They actually have a fire weather warning in Santa Barbara County right now. It's currently 58 degrees in Summerland, California, with a high today of 75. I think it's going to bump up higher tomorrow and the rest of the week. But we're looking at hot temperatures, especially for Aaron over here. He's in Oroville, California, and they're having some fires. Aaron, what's going on?
Well, you can see it's orange.
Yeah, it's
The
orange.
background is orange, and the sky is full of smoke, and the streets are. It was crazy yesterday. Everybody they're evacuating, like literally, not even 5 miles from my house. They're evacuating. I guess there's only been a couple houses. The report I got is only a couple houses been got.
Okay.
Everybody I know is safe. I got a neighbor, a friend, right next door behind me, and his mom was in the evacuation area, so she's safely evacuated over to his house.
Okay, so she's closer to you now because he's like one of your neighbors, basically.
Yeah. So he lives right basically across the back alley.
Okay, cool.
But his mom lives towards the hills a little bit, out kind of ranch area.
Okay.
And her house was under evacuation.
Okay. Wow.
So they got her out, but it's just kind of there's a lot of fires going on around here. I mean, it's 100 and something degrees. Well, I guess we get a little bit of shade from the smoke, so I guess it's maybe not as hot, but it was. I was downtown. I was getting my muffler on my truck yesterday. And we were watching. There's a mountain called Table Mountain, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You can kind of see it from all town, and that's got a big O on it for Oroville. And we were watching the fire, and it's coming up, and it burned across the Oroville. I still have to go out, and I don't know if I can I got to get a smog certificate here. It's coming up, but woo! It's a smoky one. You could tell. Look,
I know. I can see it. It's weird. So 5 miles is really close. I mean, in the old days, we were in Summerland, California. Santa Barbara was, I want to say, as kids, we'd ride our bike to town, and it was only a few miles away. So, if there's a fire in Santa Barbara, you're still very scared. Or if there's a fire in Carpinteria and you're in Summerland, you're like, hey, it's too close for comfort, essentially.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I had the website pulled up where it's got the evacuation areas and all the different areas. And my friend, we looked up his area and my area. So I've been,
staying updated
last night, checking that.
Yeah.
You can just kind of see the smoke. It was just a column coming, and now it has just spread the whole sky. I can't even see barely the trees 2 blocks away. There's so much smoke in the air.
Wow, that's crazy. God. So what kind of tree? Is there oak trees up there, or what kind of
There's oaks.
There's oaks.
There's pines. A lot of forested area, and it's already been, a lot of the areas have already been devastated by fire.
Okay. Because I remember, just a few years ago, my friend J-Bra was up there working, and his essentially the location he was at, it all burned down. And the only building I think that didn't burn was a building that he was actually occupying, but he had to leave the location, and he drove down to a hotel way out of the area, I want to say, to a safe distance away. And he put his dog in there and proceeded to try to go back to the location, but they wouldn't allow him to go back at that point.
I was kind of, because I just got my muffler, so I wanted to go on a little test drive and started heading up towards what's called Kelly Ridge area. And it looked like they, police cars and fire trucks, and it looks like they had a Caltrans road with a sign. Looks like they were about to set up, do not pass, do not go.
Right.
And, the whole town was just, you could see people coming off the ridge, all afternoon, people driving their trailers full of their motorcycles, their boats, their
Okay.
RVs.
Okay. Oh,
The
wow.
hotels are just packed. I drove by. I'm
Okay.
like, why is Sonic so busy? Sonic Burger.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
there was no one in the cars. It was just the hotel was just packed.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And that's close by where you live then, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
downtown for me is maybe 6 or 7 blocks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I think they kind of I think they shut down downtown area.
Right. Like you said, the shops are closed and stuff. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the Walgreens was closed.
Okay.
I went to go get the smog shop was closed, and
Huh.
as I'm pulling up to head back home, literally there's smoke and there's the fire planes, because they got the planes out, they're out there in full force.
Oh, wow. Good. Good. That's good that they're on that. I'm glad to hear that they're on it with the planes and stuff, because I think mainly I'm just imagining that they obviously structures are a priority to save structures when they can, in terms of, and they have to, of course, watch their own ass, in this situation. It's got to be challenging to navigate a fire area. I mean, I know they have lots of experience. They're the pros, obviously. So, geez.
Yeah, I mean, my friend was saying that, Oroville's the seat of Butte County. So we got the county courthouse, the county jail, all the county offices,
right
there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's wild. When I was in San Luis Obispo, there was the Cuesta Grade fire, and we were going, and we kind of drove almost right through it before they shut it down. It was right by the freeway. You could see the flames.
Yeah.
And eventually they shut it down, but it wasn't like this because we're literally surrounded by, wildlife areas, forest areas, and grassy areas. And I remember I was telling you, I don't know if I was telling you the other day, I was like, oh, there's ashes on the car. There's ashes falling from the sky.
Yeah.
And I think yesterday, it felt like an ember hit me. I'm driving down the road. Oh, what's that? And I'm like, oh, that's probably an ember. And everything's covered. The cars are all covered gray.
Wow.
With the ashes, and it's pretty gnarly. I've never been in, so close to such a big fire. I mean, I was visiting my friend up here in the mountains. His property got burnt out twice.
Oh, wow.
We were up there one year, and it was, I think, later in August, and there was like lightning storms. So you could see the lightning hitting, and it started 2 fires while we're watching. We're watching from up on the hill. We're watching it burn, basically across the river.
Okay. Huh.
And then, when I was in Santa Margarita in San Luis Obispo, there was a fire that, where I was at, you could see it burning across on the other side of the valley, and a friend of mine was evacuated.
Wow. Yeah. So, how close are you to a fire station down there? Is there a fire station like in your neighborhood, like downtown Oroville Fire Department?
Yeah, there's a fire station pretty close here.
Yeah. Okay.
I imagine they're all up in the hills because it's, they're trying to, I guess they got to fight the fire around the perimeter and direct it. And, based on the wind direction, because the wind had changed a couple times. Like I said, we were watching from downtown at the Table Mountain, and it was going, and then it stopped, and you could see it going the other way. And then it's come back. So the winds, they got to fight the winds, and that's real fast moving. And
wow.
Woo!
Yeah,
I feel sorry for all those people. You can just see the town fill up, the hotels fill up. Everyone's trying to evacuate and get all their loved ones and important paperwork and any belongings they can load up on the truck. But it's sad, My I guess my mother-in-law, she was basically evacuated, and they had to evacuate quick. It was like, no, jump in the car, grab what you can, and jump in the car. No time to load, no time, nothing. And
Yeah.
their place got devastated.
Oh,
And
really? When was
my
that
auntie,
you?
Paradise.
Wow. Okay.
So that was in the Clear Lake fire. This was maybe, I would say, 10 years ago. And then
Okay.
my auntie was devastated in the Paradise fire. She
Wow.
kind of the same thing of, nope, it's time to go. She and my uncles, they all kind of lived next door to each other, kind of pretty close. They all had to evacuate, and their whole house and everything was totally burned down to the ground.
Wow. Have they rebuilt since, or how did that go for them? When the
No, they didn't rebuild. They moved.
Okay.
They moved, which is kind of sad because they had a really nice place, really nice house, big yard, big trees all everywhere. And I drove down the road, and it was like, wow, it looks totally different. All the trees are burnt out or gone.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
They are rebuilding Paradise.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. Did they I know I had a friend of mine who lost a home, and it took him years to go through all the insurance crap to get his house rebuilt, I think. So rebuilding is not easy sometimes, unfortunately, in terms of waiting for everything to process or something, all the paperwork processing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what my friend was saying too. He's like, you got to stock up now, because if you go to the store and get stuff, and then with all the people evacuating there,
everyone. Yeah, I know everyone's in the same position. Yeah. Wow. So are you kind of ready to go? I mean, having only been there for a year, I'm sure you kind of know where everything's at, because you've been there for a short time. So anything that you feel that you need to have with you, obviously, I mean, it's challenging to prioritize. I know I'm in a compromised position because I got so much stuff. I'd almost have to I think I was actually recently talking to my dad. I'm like, Dad, we could throw the stuff in your trailer and just hook up your trailer and roll out. He's like, thinking, oh, I can't. He couldn't fit very much stuff, that whole thing, So it's like priority on what you actually need to have with you in those cases,
Well,
that's
definitely,
challenging.
your important paperwork. You definitely want to keep your important paperwork.
Right.
That'd probably be the most important thing, because if you got your insurance and all these things, if you don't have that paperwork, how are you gonna replace it? Birth certificate,
I know. Yeah, right.
titles,
That kind of
stuff like that. It's like, you really need to, my friend was saying, get a bug out bag ready. It's always good to have a bug out bag with, a couple changes of clothes, some cat food and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's up.
And we were thinking the same thing too, is hook up the RV and just roll out. That's all you can do. I mean, when it comes to a matter of life or death,
I know
you have to, all your little trinkets, all the trinkets I was talking about having yesterday, I guess I have to start collecting again. There's been a couple times in my life where, not based on a fire, or a evacuation order, to where I've left behind pretty much everything I own except for what I can fit in the truck.
Right.
But I had time to prepare and, get my clothes and load everything
exactly.
in the truck and move.
Wow.
But, being forced to by a fire, that's a lot different than a life choice of saying, oh, it's time for me to make a change in my location or my situation, my life, and leave everything behind.
But
you definitely want to make sure to keep, a bug out bag. Make sure you have any medicines, medication you have, and
that's true,
paperwork.
Yep.
But it's been rough. The cats have been just crying to go out, and we decided we're going to leave them in just in case. Just in case we get the evacuation order. I don't want to be outside running around trying to find them.
Yeah.
And get them in the car to go.
Yeah.
You know, I guess the poor chickens, I guess I'd have to open the gate for them on their door so they could at least have a fighting chance.
Yeah, that's what you do for sure. And then so do they have a level of containment? Are they putting that number on it like at all, or when you're tracking the fire?
Not looked up yet,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna look it up right now actually.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, shout out to there's a guy in Santa Barbara who was really, helpful during the Santa Barbara fire and the flood is Marco Farrell, and he was always really good about independently reporting the news. I'm sure there's some friends of yours or local websites you check to see what's going on with the fire.
Oh, absolutely. There's a like I said, we looked up our areas.
Yeah.
And we looked up my area, my friend's area, and there's a map. It's 3,002 acres is what's the Cal Fire website's showing right now. And my girl, she said that there was 2 houses so far reported, but it's pretty much the whole dam area. It looks like it's expanded east, so it's basically the western edge of the lake, all around the dam. And it's crazy because I'm just looking at the roads, and these are the roads that I drive to go check out the hills.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's like jumping the car. It's not even a 5-minute drive to get out there, but yeah, it's saying 3,002 acres, and it's growing, as far as the number of areas to evacuate. It all day long getting these alerts. I guess
on your phone.
I don't know what they're called.
Are they coming on your phone?
From the they send you emergency alerts, and it's warning this area, that area, and then, later on there's like, instead of 1 or 2 areas, it's saying, oh, this through that area, that, and it was like constant all day yesterday.
Wow.
And
wow. How's your neighborhood? Are most of your neighbors still there, like in their homes and stuff? Is it hard to tell?
Yeah. You could tell. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 areas in 1, 11, 12. So there's like 20 areas that have been evacuated.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
It's, maybe more, but it's a.
Do you have a, like, if you were to leave, do you know the way out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there one
fire?
Away from the fire? Yeah. Is there one way out? Right.
Fire.
Yeah, away from the fire, down the road. Does that put you driving up to Northern California, or does it put you driving down to, like, where would you go? Sacramento? I don't know. I mean.
Gosh, we were talking about it, and it would have been, I guess we would head back to the coast, or
head back to the coast. Yeah.
Maybe up to my aunt's house.
Right.
It's, this is something you don't plan for,
Yeah. You don't plan for it. Yeah.
You got to be prepared. We got our emergency bug out bag, and we got our paperwork. And we're keeping the cats in. So, I mean, we're as prepared as we can be. I haven't hooked up the RV yet.
How big is the RV? Is it like a 17-footer?
It's, I think, a 28 footer.
28. That's pretty big.
So it's a pretty big one.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. Have you what truck did you are you smogging the newer truck that you got? Is that the one you're working on, smogging?
Yeah, smogging the big truck.
Smogging the big truck. Okay.
And we did set up the girlfriend's car with a little mattress in the back, so
okay.
we could at least have somewhere to sleep.
Yeah, that's cool. How's the have you hooked the big truck up to the RV yet, or never?
No, I haven't. I
Okay.
have hooked it up to my Toyota, and my Toyota can pull it.
Okay. So that's
It's
how
a little bit small.
is
When
that
we
how you?
drove up, we rented a U-Haul truck.
Oh, okay. So you pulled the RV with a U-Haul.
Yeah, we pulled the RV with a U-Haul,
Okay.
and then we caravanned up. We only had one vehicle then.
Right.
But I wanted to have a second vehicle so the girlfriend could go. And
Yeah, no, that was smart. Just is the do you have a ball hitch on the big truck? I mean, would you
Yeah.
you do? Yeah. Is it the same? Is it the right size?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bigger ball. Yeah.
The bigger ball, right? Yeah. I mean, I pulled my dad's trailer for him, of course, coming back, but he was already pre-hitched up. Sometimes just getting those things, and I did have a fair amount of experience because I had my own trailer for a while. I had a 20-foot car hauler, and it's always interesting dealing with those things in terms of getting them in position, and then sometimes getting them out of where they're actually at.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Yeah. Because you always, you put them where they're at, and then next thing you know, put this here, put that there, build a shed or something.
Yeah.
Put up a privacy fence.
Yep.
And next thing you know, you're just like, it's going to be 3-4 hours to get it out, but it's straight in. There's just one gate.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So in theory,
shouldn't be difficult if we're going to do it. It's got a flat tire, so I don't know how.
Fuck. That's that's challenging. That's one of those pain in the ass things that you don't want to do, but it's what is it? You just got to do the old fashioned little jack, the scissor jack to get that thing up on its. Sometimes I loosen those lug nuts before I get it jacked up. Yeah, and then I get it jacked up, and then sometimes fix a flat can work, but you just don't know what the issue was. Sometimes, right?
Yeah, it wasn't I mean, we had a blowout coming up.
Oh, did you? Okay.
But we had the tow truck guy came and changed it. We had a spare.
Okay.
But then we parked it, and I believe it was just a slow leak.
Slow leak in the spare tire. Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't the spare tire. It was a different tire because when we were driving up, the potholes were just insane. Like a certain stretch, they were literally, both sides of the road.
Wow.
So you couldn't really avoid them. And there was a couple big ones I hit.
Yeah.
Driving up. And when you blow out going 50 miles an hour, it happens kind of quick. All of a sudden I'm looking in the back mirror. I'm feeling a little weird shake. I look in the back mirror and there's smoke. Mm-hmm. And I pulled over immediately. Luckily, my girlfriend was trailing behind, so she started flashing the lights and honking the horn and slowed traffic down behind me. So
yeah, wow.
It could have been a lot worse, than just having to pull over the side of the road. But
yeah.
Woo!
Woo, exactly.
Crazy, because we met some people that had gone through one of the fires around here, and they actually, were driving through the fire, and their lungs were burnt, and
wow.
So it's crazy,
it is crazy.
Bad enough that my eyes are stinging,
right,
and smoky. But it's just hard to imagine going through something like that.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, would you, do you think is the RV do you think the RV is kind of a good thing to have, right?
Yeah.
Crap, that's almost like an alternative housing, for you guys, right?
Well, yeah, that was kind of our plan. Why we got it, we were like, we'll get this RV, because then we could pull it to some property.
Yeah.
Found some property, and at least we'd have something to live in.
Yeah.
We got established or built a house or something.
Yeah. Huh. It's kind of in the situation you're in, things can change so quickly that you have to almost like make split second decisions sometimes. And I know it's challenging with that that flat tire. Is it one of those has two tires on both sides? Is it one of those trailers?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's cool. At least
I would probably take my little jump box that's got a little air pressure pump that'll get it up 30 or 35 pounds of pressure.
Yeah.
And at least pull it to a safer area.
Yeah. Right. That idea. Yeah.
Hopefully for people, because I know a lot of people are going through economic times.
Yeah.
And so, if you could just imagine having to evacuate your home and not having enough resources to get a hotel or,
exactly.
Then you're stuck somewhere. You have to pay for food out to eat probably because you have nowhere to cook or get a hotel room. And so I feel for people,
Oh, big time. Yeah, it's expensive out there. Like J-Bra on the way out to Colorado, we hit a Motel 6 and it was in Needles, California, and it was $66. And that's about the cheapest bargain hotel you could possibly imagine these days. Because Jay was out there and getting close to, he's in Nebraska right now, but it's $100 a night, solid. You can count on 100 a night at most hotels, even the Motel 6s these. So.
Oh yeah, 100 plus a night. And I guess it's a good time to count your blessings.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, if you make it out with your skin intact, you at least have a chance to rebuild.
Yeah, exactly. Huh. But, so I'm sure you're keeping in touch with your neighbors and just kind of, observe your eyes, outside. Obviously, that's kind of where it's at. Someone would, you'll probably get the alert on your phone, I'd imagine, that says,
Yep. I got the phone, right by my side.
Yep. Keep your phone charged up and all that.
And just, what can you do?
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, hopefully those guys will airdrop that stuff. I mean, 3,000 is massive in terms of an area, I went one time recently, and I wanted to know how many miles that is. How I think it was, I can't remember what the deal was, but it said something about 5 miles, in terms of the space that was for that ranch, So that bridge, would be curious to know how many miles of burn area that is,
1,000 to almost 3,000 right now.
3,000
it's
acres, yeah.
It's woo.
Exactly. Scary. Well, you guys be safe, man. I mean, all you can do is get your work done while you're still in a mentally space, in terms of
prayers and
prayers and
prepared,
being prepared to go, and then having the gas stations are probably still open, right? Or no?
Yeah, there's I mean, the gas station's closer towards the center of town. Everything's open, but everything on the outskirts, it's shut down. They are evacuating. It's shut down.
Okay, yeah. So it's I mean, maybe getting your truck thing might be important.
Yeah. I mean, we can only take 2 vehicles.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which vehicle will decide to, if it comes to that. I'm praying that it's not, being kind of towards the center of town. I think we'll be, out. I think we're in the clear. I haven't done a perimeter check yet.
Huh.
But I'm about to go do that. So
That's cool.
Well, appreciate you, Jericho.
Nice. Appreciate you, man. I'll be praying for you. Yeah, and have a safe, we'll catch up tomorrow. The 4th of July.
Love you, brother.
Okay, love you, man. Have a great. Sounds good.